if we ever need to talk to some peasants. Yeah.
I mean, it all comes down to us
I mean, isn't it
requiring
illegal to
some...
magically sort of mind affect people into doing things they
Probably,
don't
but
want to?
who cares?
Well, with a roll of 20, you would know that basically Charm Person's just making him regard you as his friend, and so that would loosen his tongue. I mean, like, it's just like a suggestion effect. You're not, like, dominating his brain and forcing him to, like, do fucking things. And if it, it would be like entrapment on actual, like, criminals. If it, helps to assist the investigation, using magic like Charm Person, it might not be so bad. You could make a fair case for it, especially... in this sort of society, the ends would justify the means in this case.
I mean, I do have a 5 with the Archmage. Perhaps I know of someone who could get me a scroll of this spell or caliber.
Well, using your 5 would, say, allow you to get a scroll of Charm Person. I mean, they're, like, ritual scrolls. And, like, these are rituals. Like, scrolls are rituals. Like, you can purchase those without using your 5.
Oh.
They're on the shopping list.
And do it right in front of him so he knows what's going on and works against it. And pretends to be our friend and tells us more bullshit.
Well, actually, if he has to do like a save, and if he fails it, he doesn't know.
Oh, great, but we don't...
So he would just think that it was some other minor effect, now the room is much more pleasant.
How actually Charm Person would work in this case is you make an attack roll against his mental defense.
Yeah.
Charisma plus level versus MD.
Scroll up to see if I can find the shopping list.
The scrolls I can go ahead and link the shopping list. These scrolls are all the way at the bottom of the list. And scrolls are pre-prepared rituals. You cast them the same way you perform rituals, so you wouldn't be casting the spell so much as, like, casting, like, a Charm Person ritual.
I didn't realize that I could have... That this was a thing I could get.
It's been on the shopping list since Foghaven.
Man, I should have paid more attention to that.
I did advise, like, at the beginning, like, maybe avoid the scrolls for, like, level 2. But, it's never fucking come up that anyone ever wanted to get a scroll of anything. I'm like, okay, they just don't care.
Well, I mean,
Like how you guys found a scroll as treasure in the shop of Thrilled Roll. Of course, you didn't get it. Like any of the other
shame is I only have 29 gold pieces. Because I spent everything getting this guy's
I'll pay for your scroll.
What level of scroll, though?
What do you think is necessary?
Well,
I have another 200 something.
Depends on how many hit points he has.
How do you have this much gold?
Because I didn't really spend anything.
Alright.
I spent all my information and like a house.
I bought some
oil. A horse.
I spent 40 gold pieces on horses so far, and that's it.
How much gold do you have?
And a bit on miscellaneous equipment.
I need all the scrolls in the world now, since that's a thing. Can you imagine how useful this is going to be? It's great.
Dark
like
asked
that
a
as an
question.
arrow.
You can just keep ignoring him, though. I mean, Dark's
what did you ask, Doug?
How much gold did you have?
I have 200 something.
Okay.
That's enough for level 3 scroll.
I know, adding up all my wealth, I just hit 200.
Yeah, so probably not a level 5 one then. I mean, there's a like a ranging price here.
Yes, there is. That would basically depend on like the ritual scroll that you're wanting to get. Like the different spells, like something that's like more power, like the more powerful the spell would end up being, like the more powerful the ritual would end up being. Like a scroll that would attempt to like ward off undead for you would be, fairly pricey.
I mean, this is worth a try. Again, I would use my charisma to do it. I'm not super great at that. But I mean, his mental defense might not be great.
Your worst action would be if he ends up detecting the spell.
Yeah, which is if I miss, like a horrible.
Miss by 4+ or roll a natural 1.
Because then he suddenly knows what we try to do, and
That
he'll
and
be
his
very angry
allies.
about it. It actually
If-
says that in this spell. He will be angry. So
If only we had someone who could give you a reroll on an attack roll.
oh, work, I don't think. But if only we had someone who's good at charisma. Jeez, like someone who had been something that had to do with people at some point in their life.
Well, I mean, you do have
Those
someone
are
who's
group
good with
loaders.
charisma.
We have
Well,
a paladin,
Dark could use the
right?
damn scroll, right? He has
And-
ritual
and Leon.
casting.
Dark could certainly use the scroll, yes.
Well,
could.
that sounds much better, actually.
Leon, who's been silent this entire time.
Yeah, getting Leon a third level scroll of charm person for like up to 200 gold.
Let me go ahead and roll to see what that would cost. That will
Would,
cost the full 200 gold pieces.
That sucks.
course.
Oh well. But you know, that would be that. Then have him do it. That would be much better than having Dwohurim do it.
Yeah. So let's do it.
Would it just be like a normal attack, or would it be using my
It's an
magical
attack with
background?
level plus charisma
Okay.
against his MD. But you have a far better charisma, I imagine, than me.
I mean, what's your charisma?
12.
16. So, you know.
Yeah.
My main stat is still Constitution at 19.
I would love to pay some of it, but I have 20 gold. That's my entire fortune.
You know, and he was offering a considerable sum of money,
So
and you
who else
refused.
can?
We did.
It seems rude to take the money and then take him to prison. Like that, I mean, that's a bit excessive then at this point.
It's blood money, also. Can't take it.
All right.
All right, you two will pay for the scroll. That's us getting our notes, basically.
So in this case, these things are also supposed, like, scrolls aren't exactly the spells. They're pre-prepared rituals. You'll still need to make a skill check. So rather than using the rules of the spell, I would say you'd have to make a skill check with an appropriate mystical background to successfully enact the ritual.
Charisma-based skill check.
I would say it could be either.
Because then I think if it's a skill check, then I would again be better at it. Because I have a
So yeah, because
But good,
rather than just
targets.
like using the rules, like scrolls are pre-prepared rituals rather than the spells themselves.
yeah.
So it needs to be a ritual that would involve the charm person spell, but the ritual would still have to be designed to perhaps like do something. Maybe getting him to actually be friendly to you for say 5 minutes instead of like every fucking round he gets a save.
Yeah, potentially that.
There we go. A scroll of enforced pleasant friendliness. Scroll of tongue lubrication. I don't know.
Yeah, because Dwohurim would have then a bonus of his magical background, which is 5, and then his intelligence, which is he would have a pretty good bonus actually. Actually, a fairly good bonus. Imagine we'd be trying to hit a 24,
But,
which would give him a little bit over 50% chance.
So if you fail this ritual, I'll go ahead and give the specific consequences of it. He'll know, and the guards would know too. Because this ritual is going to be enough to actually cause a bit of a scene.
Do we risk it?
I mean, yeah, it just sucks that I only have with my best thing, like the best possible bonus I can get, I still have a 50% chance to make it 24.
Remember what happened the fucking last time?
I know, my rituals have always sucked because I had shitty rolls.
So it's time for you to roll
I have
good.
a bonus of 15, and that's still
I mean, we could just walk away and live to fight another day, right?
You guys used that attitude before.
So we shouldn't do anything then.
But yes, failing
Yeah,
this
really,
ritual,
yeah.
like, it's certainly more complicated than a simple spell. Like, it's gonna take you, like, I'd just say minutes and that effect, but, like, guards are gonna notice, especially if that's a failure. Like with success, things will go fine. Failure will
and we are
definitely
trying to
result in
hit like a champion tier level thing that is DC 24, right? That's the
well, minimum for a normal check would be DC 20.
all right. So I have pretty good ability to reach that, I think. I could only miss by 4 more on like a 1, but I guess that doesn't matter now.
It doesn't matter now if you miss period. And usually, like, consequences for rituals don't get known, but the book does say, in some circumstances, like, you should tell people what the consequences of a ritual would be if it fails. And that's what they'll be. He'll know, everyone in the gatehouse will know.
That a ritual failed or that this ritual failed?
This ritual failed.
Okay, that's not as bad, actually.
Well, no, everyone will know that you attempted to enchant this prisoner's mind, and you fucked up.
Yeah. Well, it's a truth-telling ritual. I mean, that's a thing that exists.
In which case, with your knowledge of 20, what would probably happen is that since you're affiliated with the Archmage, they'd probably kick this up the Archmage food chain.
Oh, I mean, that's good at least. So it wouldn't be on it.
And since, most of the Archmage food chain is pretty decimated right now, this would probably end up on Lord Teraptus' desk.
Yeah.
And you do recall Lord Teraptus probably wanting Aurelia dead. At least he certainly seemed like it.
So if he fucks up, Aurelia gets killed. That's unfair.
Well, Aurelia, are you willing to try to take the chance? I mean, you will have to take the fall on this if it goes bad. It's not like Sheep's characters will be singled out with danger just to advance the group. So. Well, I suppose last time it turned out pretty great, all things considered.
Yeah.
Oh god.
That character, so let's hope that
Maybe the same thing will
unique
happen
thing
with-
is that
with
she has a very
Lotraptus.
strong neck that cannot be severed by axes.
Oh.
I think over the course of these 3 hours now, my hair has become more and more disheveled.
It has. It's great.
Oh,
I don't always get to see you because, like, the Skype mini window pops up just whoever's talking at the time. But when I do get to see you, it's just great to see you, like, you get increasingly calm. That's what I love about the body language shit. Like, this is what I miss about an actual tabletop. Like, seeing, like, the despair and the frustration. And the sorrow and misery. Like,
If we're trying to hit a DC 20, I don't have any of those ritual components left. That would be like super helpful.
you've burned all of them on all the important rituals you've done before now.
Yeah, I've done so many, and they
Use your
usually
flight
go
to
horrible.
automatically succeed.
But it would be at a cost. So it'd be like we automatically succeed, but all the guards know,
Yep.
which would still suck.
You
Man, I have it, but I'm always so hesitant to use 5s because it seems like we already have enough problems.
We do.
You know,
we also have a distinct lack of solutions.
this is a potential solution. I'm willing to go for it.
So if you keep generating problems, you'll never have to worry about solution. If my new problem solved my old problem.
Let's just borrow more money to pay off our debt.
If we fail, we can go into the sewers and kill some ghouls as our punishment.
Just like begin doing that as
That-
like a
that-
weekend thing.
That wouldn't actually be punishment, though, for you guys. No, they would find
Exactly.
something suitable for
At
adventurers.
this point, that would be a pleasant vacation.
Exactly. So if they want to punish you, they'll pick something suitably punishing.
No,
Like,
don't you make it schools. I hate
keeping
you.
us trying to do this thing.
As a matter of fact, you will find Auxilia.
Look, you assholes chose this fate yourselves.
Oh,
You didn't have
yeah,
to stay
I-
at Newport.
I said we should go to Dragon Hall. I told
I'm
you
just-
all.
You
I'm
did
just-
go to Dragon Hall.
I voted no to staying in Newport because we'd have to deal with the law.
You
I
stayed in
said it to all of you.
Dragon Hall for like 7 sessions.
Newport was like my last choice because of
I'm
this.
just enjoying
I knew
my
this would happen.
desperation.
I've been adventurous before.
Let's go to Santa Claus.
Uh,
You.
no, we're here. We're gonna stick it out for this.
Alright.
I mean, the worst they can do is put us in fucking prison, and we should have enough
Then we
people
go
to
into
get
the
taken
prison
out.
minigame.
Yeah, you're locked in here with me.
For Salvo. Not anymore.
Prison. You can take my spell book away, but I remember some of these spells.
That's when they'll bring in the anti-wizards.
We'll have to 6 hours pixies to make sure you spend all your resources. Oh.
So, yeah.
Yeah, let's do this. I have a 75% chance of success.
I like those odds.
It is
Don't
less
say
than we're
those
used to in
things.
other role-playing games.
The DC will be 20 for this.
Yeah, I have a plus 15.
Yeah.
Well, you had that attitude before, and then you horrifically
I had,
botched your
yes.
creating Hiram's Hall thing.
Everything went horrible, and I even
Ugh.
used my last dust on it. But
You'll also have to give us a suitable description and appearance of how you're going to execute this ritual that will last 1d4 minutes, 1 minute, in front of his cell.
Okay, first of
We
all,
just
I'm going
stand
to
in a
take a
circle
toilet
around
break
and just
while
go-
you do the roll because I can't handle the pressure.
We hold a curtain in the way.
In more ways than one.
it
Geráck
has
will,
to be
Geráck will
a
stand
pentagram
talk
with
to all the
black
guards.
candles and.
Uh,
What would a charm person ritual look like?
What would a charm person ritual look like?
I imagine very sweet-smelling incense or something.
purple hearts flying everywhere.
Like love? I think that's a bit extreme. It's not really what you're looking for. It's more like two statues of two people bro fisting.
You won't need overly intricate ritual components. You can basically afford whatever you need without having to spend actual gold.
It's likely like a scroll with the actual words listed that you have to read out in a Latin or something,
Yeah.
and then probably a candle or two. That's usually something. Maybe a candle that's Paladin 2 that then burns down rapidly, having some sort of accelerated wax, wizard stuff to make sure that at the ritual, when it ends, the sort of two-pronged candle has burned down into one candle, and the flames of the two have mixed into one. The magic then shaping the person's personality and your own to a closer match for the duration of the candle light burning. When the candle goes out, basically the duration of the spell is done after about 5. Not a lot of light show. It is a mental spell, and so the most of what happens mentally. If it is botched, it simply means that all the flair and all the suggestions. Basically, what's happening is that the subconscious mind of whoever is being affected is being barraged with sort of all these messages of how to act, and that this person is their friend, and that they only want to help them and such. And if it's botched, all these messages are not targeting the subconscious mind, but the very conscious one, which makes it really awkward because then for a minute, that person is getting constant little feeble attempts at affecting their personality, which might, one, make them angrier at the person for trying this kind of thing. It's kind of backhanded. And two, might also, show that whatever person is doing it have really no knowledge of what they're doing.
Yes. I will note that a charm person and thus a ritual would not erase memory as well. Once this spell ends, even if it's a ritual ends, he's gonna realize what happened.
Mm-hmm.
But that might not matter.
Yeah. If he tells us enough stuff, it might not matter. Although, if he can prove that he did, can he prove that he cast a spell? So this word against word kind of thing. No cameras, after all.
No cameras.
I'm sure he's used to that kind of discretion.
All right, in 5 minutes, I'll time it after the whole thing is successfully completed and all, or if it's successfully completed. I mean, you're the one who's all we need more time-intensive things.
Yes, that is great. So you guys should prepare what to ask him, because I'm talking a lot right now, and I don't have time to think much about anything.
Oh, shit.
Time in the day is passing. It'd be an awful shame if you were released from prison while you guys were walking around buying a scroll and then got back to the gatehouse.
Yeah, well, I mean, that kind of scroll is actually useful to have always. But are you guys ready then for me to do the roll? For you to see that one?
The sheep was kind of hoping you'd be done with the roll by the time we
Yeah.
get back.
Well, I kind of don't want to click enter, but let's just do it.
All right. Okay. That is just enough within the narrow cut frames to execute the ritual exactly as you desired. Arnaud's face doesn't really change. He still had a pleasant complexion, a rather, affable smile on his features. An eyebrow does quirk a bit, but he doesn't appear to regard you any particularly differently. Your time will start now.
So the first Dwohurim would like to do is to actually, does he know if the ritual succeeded, or if, for example, he was too powerful for the spell to affect him?
He knows that the ritual succeeded.
Okay. He will ask, says, we have now taken a look at our notes. Could you try again to tell us, perhaps if you would help us with this investigation, what you know about the Black Fang and their connections to Little Dragon Hall, and who we might want to investigate more?
Sure, but that's a bit general. Like maybe specific questions?
Well, what do you think would help us the most to know?
I think dealing with that rat bastard, blue eyes motherfucker who keeps spreading misinformation and lies about the entirety of the thing. Seriously, you're not the first group who's been like, oh, that Arnaud's such a shady fellow. You should go look for him. I wonder how many gold pieces he's bilked out of people coming in, wanting to find trouble, or wondering who the big guy is. I wonder actually how many people think I'm the gloom. Which is absurd. The gloom, as if I don't want to head such a organization like that. Can you imagine how much pressure and stress that would be to try to control all of those pieces?
Yes,
imagine?
but have you do you know anyone who might be in the Black Fang?
I know quite a number of people I suspect to be in Black Fang. I imagine perhaps 1/5 of all of Little Dragon Hall is in the Black Fang. I imagine Colrin Selter, the proprietor of the tavern that you folks chose, which is rather upsetting, by the way. You really should have come to the Winch and Chain first. You could have been in prize fights. I mean, Aurelia is even
who else?
Well, I also think that Blue Eyes is in there. I actually think the entire staff is actually a part of the Black Fang. I hear they actually have a basement where they conduct sordid parties of their own, which is most delightful and delicious. Unfortunately, in this case, I chose the wrong tavern, but you folks, since you chose the correct tavern, should be able to investigate that just fine.
How would you then, if you had to investigate the Black Fang, how would you go about it? Beyond, of course, talking to Blue Eyes.
If I absolutely had to?
Yeah.
I'd just leave the city.
Do you know any of Blue Eyes' connections in the city? Like who he gets the... God damn! Like who he gets the information from?
Gryph has arrived.
Hi.
Yeah.
This is...
There's a lot of static coming from your
What is
end.
this? It's like...
Still. It's getting louder. That's weird.
It's like lightning zapping our minds.
It's...
God. That is... sounded like something was
is
not
very
plugged in
wrong
right.
with his microphone. It's fine now.
Yeah, he left. That's why it's fine.
We'll wait.
Yeah.
Despite the fact that this was a time pressure situation.
Man, that guy likes to waste time with useless details.
Yep.
Definitely need to ask him how he knows Domino.
Right, so anyway, time in. Yes, so I would just leave the city.
What do you know of Domino and her connection to the Black Fang? Is she...
Domino, as far as I'm aware, was just one of the people trying to hang on. Trying hope against Vayne that maybe they could be a part of the Black Fang, but she was a bounty hunter. Like, what kind of worth or significance does she would have?
What about your own connection to the Black Fang? Are you connected to them in any way?
You have any dealings?
He, looks over at... Who's this guy? He points at the Paladin.
I don't know. Don't listen to him.
I mean, alright. Like, I thought we were just having a friendly conversation here. Like,
Yeah, it was just more of a thought, really. You don't seem like the kind of guy.
well, I mean, I also like make friends. Like, aren't you the one who put me in prison, in jail?
Like, you know how we are. We do this sort of thing to each other once, time and time again. So, why exactly do you think Blue Eyes is out to get you?
Well, I imagine that he is a very spiteful cunt, and he would not appreciate all of the good things I do for the community. As a member of the Black Fang, he is secretly hoping to undermine me. I am simply too powerful and prestigious to be toppled over in an instant. Like so many other individuals, I am sure. I matter. I am important. I manage parties. I gather people. I ensure that I don't step on any toes so that the Black Fang doesn't crush me as they've crushed so many other people.
So, whose toes would you be afraid of exactly, other than Blue Eyes?
Well, I would never want to offend the Gloom.
How might you end up doing so?
By cooperating with law enforcement. After all, the less that outsiders know about our little home of Little Drakenhall, the better. And although I do not intimately know the Black Fang,
Yes. You were just about to say something, weren't you? Please continue.
that was an awfully mean trick you pulled on me.
We simply had to be sure that you were not involved, and this was the only way I could think of doing it. I'm a wizard, after all.
Yes, you are. Pity I did not recognize what you were doing in front of my cell.
I hope you will not resent us for this little trick.
Now, why would I do that? No need for a sense motive. He is, there's like a vein pulsing in his temple. He is, very offended. Severely upset.
That's understandable.
I think I said all I wish to say.
No, it's just, well, certainly cleared your name all right. I don't know if there's much more of a reason to keep you here.
But now you have all reason to assist us in our queries. After all, you are now a loose end, as it were.
Please, child. You've certainly given me no reason to trust you. Not after the stunt you pulled.
Well, it's understandable. I probably would feel the same way. However, you genuinely turned out to not be the, well, I'm sure you would have done the same if you were in our shoes.
But instead, I'm behind bars.
Cleon says, I see no reason why not to rectify that.
I shall fetch a guardsman then.
Yeah. Let's get you out of there.
The guards are a little befuddled that he's just like, whatever, not fucking above our pay grade. I'm not even giving a shit or a fuck. and the jail door is open. The high elf, with a cool posture, which does not well conceal the fury boiling beneath the surface of his face. His mask that he uses for social interactions now in a ruin of angry tics and eye twitching. I'll step out of the cell. Fantastic. Well, I can certainly say that you are no longer welcome at the parlor, Gilded Comforts, and I would advise you, after offending a community member, to be careful in Little Drakenhall, for there are those who do enjoy Gilded Comforts, and they might perceive what's happened in a poor light.
Nods as well. As Blue Eyes does, you can now infer our goal from our questions. However, perhaps if we do not see each other again, you would consider leaving us to our own work, either through the knowledge that it will inevitably end in our doom, or that it might, so to speak, take some, or let you take a passive type of revenge on both us and the people we're trying to, well, catch.
The High Elf will snort. If there is no further desire for me, I shall be going home now.
Very well. I have no further inquiries. Not ones I believe you would answer anyway, at least. If you end up requiring our aid, do speak so forth. I realize that we've done you wrong, and, well, if there's a way to make up for it, I would like to know.
The High Elf will step out of the doorway to the north. Of course, like the entire, gate doesn't involve the gatehouse, so you can hear some conversation outside. What you imagine is the intelligent clay golem moving from the north to the south to contact the others, and then all three of them move behind Arnaud and head back into the docks.
I really thought we would have something from him.